Picture a world where your nation's economy has utterly collapsed. Banks are closed, savings have disappeared, and the future is a mystery. This terrifying prospect is more than just a distant fear for numerous countries across the globe. Their economies wavering on the verge of the worldwide economic scene is a complicated network of mutual dependencies and fragile balances. When functioning well, it promotes wealth and advancement. However, when it stumbles, the fallout can be severe. An economic collapse is not just a slump or a recession, it's a crushing blow that sends tremors through every aspect of society. This could mean soaring unemployment, spiraling inflation, and a total loss of faith in the national currency. It's a scenario that can tear at the very fabric of society, where the future isn't just grim, but unknown. But how do we identify which countries are on the verge of such a catastrophe? There's no magical forecast, but there are signals. We examine aspects like debt ratio, GDP growth, and inflation rates. When debt becomes unmanageable, growth halts, and inflation becomes uncontrolled, the warning bells start to sound. These are the symptoms of an economy under significant stress, a nation teetering on the verge. Today we delve into the narratives of 5 such nations. Each unique, each wrestling with its own set of difficulties, but all united by a common thread. They are on the cusp of economic catastrophe. Our journey takes us to the heart of South America, to the Mediterranean's edges, through Central America and into North America's heartlands. These nations, rich in history, diverse in culture, and vibrant in people, are also under the long shadow of economic hardship. So as we embark on this exploration, let's remember that economics isn't just about digits and graphs. It's about people and their existence. It's about the aspirations and dreams at stake when an economy is on the stay with us, as we delve into the economic realities of 5 countries on the verge of financial disaster. Our journey commences in Brazil, a nation intimately familiar with economic turmoil and currently navigating through shaky financial waters. Steeped in cultural and natural richness, Brazil's economic history includes multiple declarations of bankruptcy and ongoing struggles with economic hardships. In the present day, it is caught up in the throes of rampant unemployment, colossal public debt, and a languishing economy. Political instability and the dwindling value of the Brazilian real compound these challenges. A decline in commodity prices is another significant factor, particularly those related to prime exports such oil and iron ore, putting a significant dent in the nation's earnings. The potential fallout from a complete economic downturn could lead to dire consequences for both the people of Brazil and the broader South American region. As Brazil tussles with these problems, it is a stark reminder of how fragile economic stability can be and the profound influence it holds over a nation and its inhabitants. Simultaneously, we also turn our attention to an impending crisis in an African country. Egypt, a nation steeped in rich history and celebrated for its magnificent pyramids, is now contending with a different type of monolith, a towering mountain of debt. Currently, Egypt holds the title for the highest debt level in Africa, which has led to skyrocketing borrowing costs. The consequence? An economy under extreme duress. A ripple effect of this economic strain is the increasing difficulty for Egypt to finance its debt. A significant chunk of the nation's revenues are now being redirected towards servicing this debt. This leaves minimal funds for critical areas such as infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The economic strain is more than a fiscal predicament. It's a social crisis posing a severe threat to the livelihoods of millions of Egyptians. So, how did Egypt arrive at this precipice? To fully comprehend the situation, we must delve into some historical context. The nation's economy was severely hit following the Arab Spring in 2011, with political instability playing a significant role. Additionally, structural issues such as corruption and ineffective bureaucracy further worsened the economic situation. In a desperate attempt to stabilize its economy, Egypt turned to international borrowing, plunging the nation into a debt spiral it's still trying to escape. The repercussions of Egypt's debt crisis are far-reaching. As the 3rd largest economy in Africa, if Egypt were to default on its debt, it could set off a financial tremor felt across the continent, potentially destabilizing the entire African economy. Furthermore, international investors and lenders with stakes in the country could also be impacted, triggering a domino effect in the global financial system. This situation in Egypt serves as a clear warning of the delicate equilibrium countries must maintain between borrowing for growth and preserving financial stability. Walking this financial tightrope is a precarious balancing act. A single misstep could lead to a downfall that's challenging to rebound from. As we transition our focus from the pyramids of Egypt to the tropical landscapes of El Salvador, let's reflect on the lessons from Egypt's ongoing struggle. After all, understanding these economic cautionary tales could be the key to averting future financial catastrophes. El Salvador, the petite power of Central America, is staggering under a hefty debt load of about $6.4 billion. The recent clearance of a substantial $600 million bond payment has won the nation some accolades, but hasn't cleared the gloom that their massive debt has cast over their economic future. You see, El Salvador's economy is engaged in a delicate tango with external dynamics, such as the whims of global market trends. A mere sneeze from the international markets can give nations like El Salvador a full-blown cold. The ripple effects of these market tremors are felt in the bones of everyday Salvadorans as they grapple with the insecurity of employment, escalating living costs, and a government wrestling to provide basic amenities. In an effort to navigate these stormy economic seas, the Salvadoran government has taken the helm, implementing austerity measures, pruning public expenditure, and trying to lure foreign investment. Yet these necessary steps have sparked resistance and censure, underlining the intricacy of the scenario. The effectiveness of the government's handling of the situation is still a hot debate, even though the recent bond payment indicates a desire to respect international financial commitments. The persistently high debt levels sketch a portrait of a nation striving to break free from the chains of economic adversity. For El Salvador, the journey to economic revival won't be a straight path. The country will be tasked with steering through capricious market shifts, internal political pressure, and the aspirations of its inhabitants, while trying to topple the towering debt. In this interlinked global economy, the financial well-being of one nation can have ripple effects. Therefore, El Salvador's narrative underlines the interconnectedness of the world economy, and it serves as a reminder to rally behind nations grappling with economic difficulties. As we delve deeper, we find that even the most scenic nations are not shielded from economic upheaval. Next, we delve into the economic landscapes of Costa Rica and Mexico, two nations admired for their stunning natural splendors, yet currently grappling with critical economic predicaments. We kick off with Costa Rica, a paradise famed for its verdant rainforests and varied fauna. However, underneath this paradise, a tempest of economic instability brews, propelled by soaring public debt and lethargic economic growth. This threatens the future prospects of this Central American gem. The government's failure to enact effective fiscal amendments has only worsened the situation, leaving the country teetering on the verge of economic decay. Switching gears to Mexico, a nation renowned for its dynamic culture and awe-inspiring landscapes. Yet these attractions are increasingly being eclipsed by a mounting economic crisis. Mexico is entangled in a complex web of issues, from skyrocketing inflation rates, spiraling public debt to sluggish GDP growth. The predicament is compounded by political upheaval and dwindling oil revenues, a vital lifeline for the country. These economic woes do more than just destabilize Costa Rica and Mexico. They have profound repercussions for their citizens. The escalating cost of living and the sinking job market could exacerbate poverty and social disruption. Moreover, these economic burdens could spark a wave of migration as individuals seek brighter prospects elsewhere. Additionally, the possible economic downfall of these nations could reverberate throughout the region. Countries part of the Central American trade bloc may encounter interruptions in commerce, potentially triggering a regional financial. To summarize, the economic plights in Costa Rica and Mexico are grave. Despite their picturesque sceneries, these paradises are in jeopardy, with their economic steadiness teetering. The journey to revitalization will be arduous, requiring substantial efforts from the governments and the world at large to rescue these nations from collapse. Having unpacked the individual circumstances, let's delve into how these potential collapses could reverberate in the global economic arena. The potential economic downfall of these nations isn't an isolated issue, it's a global concern. We've navigated the fiscal terrains of Brazil, Egypt, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Mexico. We've witnessed the battles they fight. It's imperative to grasp that these hurdles don't operate in isolation. The global economy functions as an intricate network, where a single thread coming undone can incite tremors throughout the entire system. Picture this: Brazil, a significant exporter of goods including soybeans, iron ore and petroleum, abruptly ceases trade due to economic. This sudden halt could convolute global supply chains, resulting in skyrocketing prices and potential global shortages. Similarly, the Suez Canal in Egypt, a major artery of global shipping, could significantly impact international commerce if disrupted. These circumstances aren't just theories, they're plausible outcomes if the economies of these nations crumble. In such a situation, the significance of global organizations such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank is paramount. These bodies can extend financial aid and policy counsel to stabilize floundering economies. Nevertheless, their interventions usually come with strict conditions and austerity measures, which can be a tough pill for the involved countries to swallow. Beyond financial repercussions, potential downfalls could also ignite humanitarian disasters. Economic instability frequently triggers political instability, social disturbances, and in severe civil conflict. This may lead to refugee crises, adding to the already overwhelming global refugee population, which is at its highest since World War II. Let's not overlook the impact on the common man. Millions could find themselves facing unemployment, poverty, and of basic amenities. The repercussions would ripple out far beyond the borders of these 5 nations. Despite the grim outlook, there might still be a glimmer of hope. Economic downfalls are not predestined, and with the right policies, global support, and a stroke of luck, these nations might be able to avert disaster. In the following sequence, we'll delve into potential solutions and predictions for these precarious nations. Economic disaster is not a foregone conclusion. There exist a variety of strategies to steer clear of catastrophe. In the shadow of impending economic turmoil, nations often resort to a blend of economic overhauls, financial rescue packages, and austerity strategies. The first line of protection are economic overhauls. They can include modification to fiscal and monetary rules, deregulation, and attempts to enhance openness and fight corruption. For example, Brazil has been enforcing structural overhauls to boost productivity, whereas Costa Rica has been zeroing in on fiscal consolidation to lessen its deficit. Financial rescue packages from global organizations such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank can offer a crucial lifeline to faltering economies. These institutions can give financial aid packages linked to strict economic overhauls. Take Egypt, for instance. It secured a $12 billion bailout from the IMF in 2016, which aided in stabilizing its economy. Austerity strategies, albeit often disliked, present another resource at a nation's. These entail downsizing government expenditure and hiking taxes to even out the budget. Mexico, battling with a sluggishly growing economy and high debt levels, has been enforcing austerity policies to pull back public expenditure. These strategies are not devoid of hurdles and critiques. Economic overhauls can be tough to enforce and may not deliver immediate outcomes. Financial rescue packages can be tied with stringent conditions that may further burden an already strained economy. Austerity measures can trigger public dissatisfaction and intensify inequality. So where do the experts stand on the probability of recovery? Views, but a common consensus is that while the path to recovery may be arduous and lengthy, it is not unattainable. There exist recovery narratives. Countries like Iceland and Ireland, which were significantly impacted by the global financial crisis in 2008, managed to rally through a blend of economic overhauls, financial rescue packages, and austerity strategies. In spite of the formidable challenges, it's crucial to bear in mind that economies are fluid and possess the ability to change. With appropriate policies and global backing, these 5 nations can steer their way clear of the crisis and towards a more secure economic future. The journey to recovery may be steep and tough, but there is a glimmer of hope. We've journeyed through the challenging economic landscapes of Brazil, Egypt, and El Salvador, each grappling with their unique struggles. Brazil's ongoing struggles, Egypt's crushing debt crisis, and El Salvador's precarious economic balancing act each stand on the brink of potential disaster. These aren't isolated issues, but rather components of a larger global economic picture, where one country's downfall could trigger a domino effect of worldwide instability. The imminent risk of market disruptions, refugee crises, and instability demands international collaboration. Governments, organizations, and societies must unite to avert the fall of these nations into financial ruin. It's a shared responsibility to ensure global economic stability. Thank you for following us on this journey. Stay tuned for more insights into the complex world of economics.